Boy, they are rolling in the month of June. They beat the Blue Jays
10 in a
yesterday.
row on the road.
10 in a row on the road.
First time since the 50s.
1952.
That feels unbelievable. All the great Giants teams we've seen. But isn't that surprising?
Tyro Estrada coming through with 2 RBIs, clutch, the 2-run double to break it open, some insurance there, the 9th inning. But the way the pitching is set it up, the way that, because look, the hitting again, I'm going to say this over and over. I'm not worried too much about the hitting.
No.
They're going to scratch runs away. They're going to find a way to get the hit for some power. It's the pitching. What can you do with the pitching? You know what? For one day, we've crushed Alex Wood. That's a big boy performance yesterday by Alex Wood. To come in that game up in Toronto, gets that lineup, and pitch 5 shutout innings, which is, we know he's a 5-inning pitcher. But you know what? You got the first inning out of the way. I'm not mad at Alex Wood. He deserves credit today on the Morning Roast.
Well, no, he absolutely deserves credit. But when I hear him in postgame basically say, I think I figured something out. Again, like I was talking about with Patrick Bailey, yo, Alex, you've been in this game a long time. You could figure something out for one start. Can I get back-to-back appearances that look good? Because your last outing, you gave up 6 runs.
Right.
But before the game even started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm happy he had a nice performance. They desperately need him.
He gets credit for that. We crush him when he's bad. He deserves praise when he's good, and that's what we don't do in sports anymore. We always crush people whenever, you know what I'm saying?
No,
give them their praise, give them their credit. Alex Wood, in a performance like that, now he's going to have another good performance at Citi Field this weekend.
Yes.
That's fine, but you picked up the slack yesterday, and to beat Kevin Gausman, you get credit for that. It's set up perfectly for them, and now you know you got Logan Webb and what did he start in Toronto. That's a must-win game for Logan Webb in Toronto.
Pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
But that's how it is now.
That's how it is now. It's June.
I agree.
We're going into July. The big boys are stepping up. You see Shohei Ohtani and the show he's putting on. By the way, last offseason, I said I give Shohei $70 million a season, and I was dead serious, and people said, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
as in Mark.
Yeah, well, Mark Willard said that. Well, hey, Mark Willard, if you're listening out there, give Shohei $100 million a season, and I wouldn't even care. 6 years, $600 million. It's yours, Shohei Ohtani, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. He's got a 3.304 ERA. He's got a 3.02 ERA. 304 batting average. I mean, 2 jacks last night. He's striking out double digits. He's the best player on the planet, and it's not even close. The jerseys, the revenue, you're already getting $35,000 a night right now.
I know.
In the last homestand.
I know.
Imagine Shohei. You're back in the 40s. You're back in the 40s, and you're getting standard room only, and all of a sudden Sam Lubman is applying for a credential, and he's getting denied because of Shohei Ohtani. 6 years, $600 million right now.
Well, here's, this is just, bear with me on this sentence. The Dodgers will always have the allure. They will always have the sex appeal. They'll always have a lot of the buzz. But if you just look at the rosters and the minor league system, dare I say the Giants are in a better place than the Dodgers moving forward?
It feels like they are.
No,
on paper.
Now, I know. L.A. has its own allure that the Giants cannot, they just can't compete on that allure. I will acknowledge that to the fullest. But if we're talking situations moving forward, as great as Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are, and Freddie Freeman's getting up there in age, as great as those players are, I think the Giants are positioned better long-term than the Dodgers. So if there was an argument, you got to bring the money, though, B. You've got to overpay.
You got to overpay. And you know what?
You got to overpay.
You know what? That's fine. If you can overpay for guys like Jock Peterson, Mitch Haniger, Sean Manaea, Ross Stripling, you can overpay for Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
The best player in baseball. So I think the Giants are in a great spot right now in the National League. Look, man, you got some big... The Marlins go out there and beat Boston. The Braves do their thing. It's starting to separate itself. The pack in the National League, you're starting to see the cream of the crop here. It's the Diamondbacks, it's the Giants, it's the Dodgers.
Well, they're not going to go
the Braves and the Marlins.
Yeah.
And in the NL Central, you got the Reds and Brewers battling out. Listen, man, I don't know what's going on with San Diego, but the Giants are a top 5 team in the National League. They have a legit shot, if they get the right pieces to add to this team, to represent the National League in the World Series. They can go play with the Braves.
What is it that makes you believe into them?
It's the chemistry. It's the cohesion. I really believe in that mojo stuff.
Yeah.
The momentum and the mojo that the Giants have right now is something that the Warriors didn't have last season. And that the Warriors are still somehow... That's why it's remarkable to me that they made the second round. The Warriors were an absolute mess behind the scenes last season. Yet they were able to say, you know what? We could put it together, get to the playoffs here. The Giants got the nice... They got the nice mix of youth, synergy, but the veterans, the youth, the pitching, it's all coming together here, and they all seem like they're getting along here. Gabe Kapler's out there with the team, doing a great job managing his team.
See him at first base?
I see him at first base in the Yeezys, man.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing up there. There's a vibe with this team. and they're just picking each other up left and right. Tyro Estrada, we talked about him struggling. Well, he picks up Lamont Wade Jr. yesterday from striking out 3 times. Tyro was good yesterday. Jock Peterson, not so good, but you get a nice at-bat from Luis Matos, even though he didn't get a hit. Patrick Bailey commanding that infield.
I'm so excited.
They've got something here, man.
This is the most excited you've been about the Giants in a long time.
Well, 2021.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I could feel the genuine excitement.
Yes. There's some swagger here.
Genuine excitement.
They got some swagger.
I'm pumped.
No, I'm telling you, man, when they did what they did last week against the Padres, and again, for me, I was all in when I seen that day game in St. Louis. That's a game they usually lose.
Yes.
It's a game teams usually lose. For sure, Strumsky to win that game and to go to St. Louis and sweep them at Busch Stadium. I don't think people realize how hard that is.
It really
Then you
is.
go to Dodger Stadium and tattoo them?
When you're on the face of the sun at that stadium because it's
kidding me?
literally 140 degrees.
Are you kidding me? This team's legit.
I'm feeling really good about where they're at right now. And, I'm looking at Camilo Doval's season B. I mean, 2 years ago, he was the guy we kind of identified, and we're like, can he get to that point? The fact that we're here, now you're watching one of the elite players in the game, and when you watch him hone his craft, is there any doubt in your mind that he's getting a save?
No doubt. Did you see Steve Berman last night from the Athletic Suite?
No.
He tweeted, he goes, I watch Rob Beck, I watch Rob Nin. Shooter.
Smoke on the water.
Brian Wilson. He
Weezy.
goes, Camilo Doval has filthier stuff.
Yeah.
He has filthier stuff. And I'm telling you, man, he has a chance to be the guy. I'm talking about not just the guy. One day, maybe I'm getting premature here. I'm feeling myself right now. But one day, he has the capability of one day having a statue. That's how good this guy is at the closer spot. This guy, I'm dead serious, man. I don't know. Maybe it's too early in the morning. He has a chance to be a statue guy.
I mean, it's going to take a long time.
It's going to take a long time
for an arm,
no doubt.
Especially coming out of the bullpen. Very few guys can have 10-year careers as closers.
No doubt. I understand that.
Even Papelbon's career, that some people might scoff at, he was freaking awesome for a decade.
Listen, man,
Jansen's been awesome for 15 years.
So Berman's tweet: the Giants have had some top-tier closers over the past 30 years. Beck, Nin, Brian Wilson, plus strong runs from Casilla and Sergio Romo. Camilo Doval is filthier than all of them. Filthier. And he's strong, he's big, he's young. I don't know, man. I think of the world of this kid, and he shut things down. And you know what? The other thing, too, is some people, I was talking to some buddies off the side, and they're like, what are the Giants going to do when the games get bigger? Well, they're going on the road here. There's a sellout crowd at Rogers Center. You got sellout to Dodger Stadium. You got sellout to Busch Stadium. This team is playing in front of big crowds on the road and now at home.
Yes.
And they're not rattled at all. So Camilo Doval, 25 years old, 23 saves this year. He's on his way to another 30-save season. Let's see if he can get to 40 because the Giants seem to be playing in close games. I don't know, man. This kid is unbelievable.